if there's an aspect of self-improvement that is tremendously underappreciated, it's not knowing what to do or struggling to stay consistent. It's not even loneliness or the sacrifices you have to make, but it's the uncertainty. As young men, we're still figuring ourselves out. We don't know what's going on. We're trying to just find some direction in our lives, especially in this day and age that we live in now, that is so hostile towards young men. I mean, you saw the rise of like Andrew Tate in 2022. That is like something that has been needed for so long, because young men have just been so despondent. We just don't know what's going on, right? Your figures like Jordan Peterson, your David Goggins, like we're clinging onto masculine figures just to lead us because of just how difficult it is for us. And that's just because society is just the way it is. But taking that away, like young men in general, like we just far down in the pecking order. I don't like the red pill. Of course I don't. It's feminism for men. But if there's one thing they've definitely gotten right, one of the things they've gotten right, it's identifying that, like, okay, women are born with their value, and then men, have to build their value. And that is very apparent for any young man that's just, if you're striving with something, right? And this is something I've been learning, I've learned, watching self-improvement videos, is that 50% of guys aren't even in the game. Like, they're not even trying, right? Like, I've heard, it's one of those, pandemics, I've heard on my Chris Williamson podcast. Well, pandemic isn't the right word, but you know what I mean, right? It's an epidemic of you have 35-year-old men who are still living in their mom's basements, people moving out later, they're getting driver's license later, they're not even getting jobs, bro. They're not getting married, or they have no friends. The most common answer for how many close friends do you have, I think it's zero. No, I don't know what I think it is zero. I was listening on the Chris Williamson podcast. People are lonely, it's bad. It's really flipping bad, right? And that's just them that are not even trying. If you're like me and you're really striving with something in your life, you want to be happy, you want to have a good life, a life well lived, you realize when you're really trying to find your way in life, as a young man, it's difficult. It is difficult. And it's not even just the hard work you have to put in, because we all know we have to put in hard work. If you embark on this journey, you have to put in hard work, right, to achieve things. But we live in the fast age of the internet. You watch people online, they get famous like this, 1 year. Even if you're like me, you have to put in the work and everything, but you still, you believe that people like Hamza and Iman and all of them. And I'm not saying that they're lying, but you believe that, just put your head down for a year or 2 years and you'll make decent money. And if you are consistent, you can. But it's still tremendously difficult. It's very difficult, and it's just part and parcel of being a young man. Like I said, you're literally at the bottom, right? You have nothing to offer to the world. People don't take you seriously because they have no reason to take you seriously. You might have you just raw potential, but you haven't learned any valuable skills to really provide to the world, right? You're still a kid, basically. You're still a kid when you're trying to find your way in the world. You don't know what's going on. For me, this has been very apparent. My job that I'm doing, as an article, I'm doing my first year, in accounting. It's very apparent. We're first year trainees. Everyone knows first year trainees don't know anything, but it's such an analogy for my life in general. It's we don't know where we're going. I guess the one caveat to that is nice is that, I won't say nice, but that is comforting, is that what I've learned is that most people don't know. Everyone is just faking it through life. No one has it figured out. People are just faking it through life. And that is comforting, but still, you know what I'm talking about. It's still hard as a young man. You're still, something as simple as building a good physique, that takes time, right? Building money, oh my goodness, building wealth takes forever. If you even get there, but takes forever. It's such a struggle, right? And, building yourself up to be someone attractive, that's all difficult. Building your social life, that's difficult. Building your career is difficult. Everything. It's not, I said, it's not even just how difficult it is. It's hard. You have to put in the work and everything. Well, we're fine. We're willing to do that. It's the time it takes. It takes so long. It really takes so long. As young men, everything in our lives is just. I don't know about you, but I don't know. I've been feeling this out quite a bit. It's I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, and we're still figuring our lives out. And for those of us that have our lives figured out, I would say I've got my life pretty decently in order. I'm not. my career set out. Like I'm doing this YouTube thing. I'm becoming quite consistent with it. I'm in good shape. I've got my head screwed on right. Like I have good. I'm doing fine in life. Like I'm doing fine. I would be someone you'd say like I have my head screwed on well. Like even for someone like me who's got like I know where I'm going. I know what I want to do. I know what I need to do to get there, and I'm willing to put in the work, and I'm doing it. It's still hard because you don't know. You don't know if it's gonna work, and it takes forever. And you get in your head, and you're like again. Okay, I've spoken countless times like now about how I moved to a new city. I moved to a new city, clean slate. I'm 21, clean slate, world at my feet, all of that. Like, exciting. It's exciting, right? But then now you get into it. You get into it, right? Like I'm going to my job. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying. I'm working hard and everything. I'm following my routine and everything. It's fine. I'm trying to build my social life. Like this has been like the biggest thing. Like for me, I'm extroverted, right? I've always wanted to have a good social life. Never had it, right? So for me, I'm like this. I'm setting out to get it done. Like I need it. I need to build my core group of friends. Find like my future wife, or whatever. Like I'm setting out to do that, right? But every weekend, every Saturday, without fail, okay, maybe this Saturday will be different because today I actually have a packed schedule, but like, I'm always like mad about like, well, I'm sad. Like I'm like, why is my calendar not packed? Like I want to have a packed social calendar. Like that's something I want. I dream of that, right? And it's not like I'm not doing anything. Like I'm doing stuff. Like I've done stuff like every weekend. I've had like two or three things to do every weekend, like social things. But like I'm just down on myself. I'm like, oh, Saturday. Like I don't have anything like proper to do the whole day. Like, and it's like, bro. Like I know in the moment it's like chill. Like I've only been in the city for like 2 months. I've only like been at this job for like a month and a half or whatever, right? Like just chill. Like you're doing fine. You'll be fine. 3-4 months from now, you're gonna be looking back and you're like, bro, you had nothing to be worried about at all, right? But when you're in it, it's hard. It's hard because it's so uncertain. Because it's like, oh, I don't have anything to do this weekend. What if this happens next weekend, and the next weekend, and the next weekend, and then I find myself like not living the life that I want, right? And yeah, that uncertainty kills. It's really, I don't know about you guys, but for me it's hard. And this is a very different video to like the ones I usually make. I usually make like quite motivational videos and what you can do and everything, but I just wanted to share out there like, yeah, it's hard. Like this uncertainty is very difficult. And again, like when I speak to my friends and I tell them about this, even like when I do my weekly debrief, like where I just speak about like I just go through my thoughts and like what I'm thinking and what my plan of action is for the week and whatever, the answers are all the same. Just be patient and keep working hard. Like this, you're never gonna get a different answer because it is the answer, but it's hard. It really is hard. But I think what I wrote down was like, yeah, it's important like just to remind ourselves that like when we embarked on this journey, we knew it would be difficult, and this is what hard feels like. And also too, just to remind ourselves to like enjoy the difficulty, right? Enjoy the struggle. How many times do you hear like billionaires speak about, I will trade all my money just to be 20 again, right? Or you hear all the people saying like, oh, youth is wasted on the young, right? Like people love like, we know that our youth is, we're never gonna get it again, right? Like right now, you are the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you will ever be. Like just let that sink in for a bit. Like our youth is, we know it's important, right? We know, and people always telling us like, oh, to be young again or whatever, but like we really need to like embrace it. Like this struggle, like successful people, I say like successful people always speaking about, oh, I miss like the good old days of like struggling, trying to find this or whatever, and like yeah, like it's something different. It is something different. Like for the people that once you do become successful, we will never get this again. Like I'm just thinking about me, like the situation I'm in now. I've just moved to a new city. I'm 21. I'm starting my articles. I'm creating YouTube. I've got a fresh start, clean slate to build my life however I want. I've got all this motivation to do these things, right? I will never have anything like this again. Like this is exciting. It's like world at my feet. I can be whatever I want to be, right? And that's exciting. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming a lot. Like as I was just explaining now, it's overwhelming. It's scary, uncertain, but it's also exciting. And you'll never get it again. We will never get it again. Like just think about like all the successful people that say, like think about the athletes who are like, oh, I miss the days, of like, trying to find like getting trials and like trying to get a shot at this club or whatever. or the successful businessmen are like, oh Lord, miss the days of like grinding, just like doing this. Or the YouTubers are successful, they're like, oh man, I miss the old days of like, I was posting these videos, I was learning about editing, I was doing all of this. It's like, it's just different. Like this kind of it's hard, but it's something different that you'll miss. We will miss, so we should like mind ourselves to enjoy it a little bit, just be like, it's exciting, and I guess it's one thing that's been keeping me going for sure. Like it's been like, okay, on one hand this is very overwhelming, it's scary, it's uncertain, I just want to have it figured out, but also on the other hand it's exciting. I don't know what's coming. Like the world is my oyster, right? Like the world is at my feet. It's exciting, right? So I think it's just important just to keep reminding ourselves that, one, this is what hard feels like, but two, we're never gonna get like an opportunity like this again. The world at your feet, and you can be whatever you want. So let's not waste it. Let's just enjoy it. Okay, let's enjoy it however best we can, right? Because, like I'm saying, like when I hear the stories of like the successful people, like even for me, like as much as this is frustrating, like building my life and everything, it's like once I build like that friend group that I want, right, or like find my future wife, whatever, or I progress in my career, or like my YouTube blows off, like say, all of a sudden I'm sitting at like 50,000 subscribers or whatever on YouTube. Once that happens, you've gotten over a hill that you're never gonna get to climb again, right? Like once I make like my core group of friends, like I found my boys, like I found like my boys that I want, like I found it, right? I'm not gonna do that again. I'm never gonna be again, looking at like different churches, trying to find different places to go so I can meet new people. Like I'm never gonna do that again. Like that's over. I've accomplished that, right? It's like a video game where you've accomplished the level. You're not gonna go back to that level again, right? Like once I hit a certain level on my YouTube, I hit like 50k subscribers or whatever it is, I blow up, or I pop off. I mix the two. Like once that happens, I can't go back to 1,600 subscribers. I can't go back to that. Like I mean I can technically, like you can lose your subscribers, but that's very different. Like I can't go back to I'm starting from fresh and now I'm getting it again. Like I can't go back to that. So it's like, let's just enjoy it, I guess. Enjoy it how we can. But you guys let me know what you think of the topic. I don't know. I feel like it's something that I've I've been dealing with this a lot this year, and I feel like I'm not alone in the struggle. You guys let me know what you guys think of that in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe to join the Self-Improvement Brotherhood, and until next time, I will see you boys.